Welcome to Trends Reality, your go-to channel for trending social political updates. Subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts in the comments.
All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Benuril, and on this episode of Trends Reality, we want to talk about who is trending right now in the Nigerian trenders space. And our social trenders for this episode is no other person than Senator Natasha Akpabio. So what's trending right now is that the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, is actually seeking protection from Senator Natasha's firestorm. And for those who don't know what's going on, Senator Natasha had a fallout with the Senate President as a result of the change in her sitting position in the Nigerian House of Assembly. And rather than addressing the issue with the urgency it required, the Senate President, Senator Akpabio, thought they can just override Natasha. So one thing led to the other. Natasha actually complained about the seat, and they kind of asked her to leave the chambers, and as a result of that, Natasha said she gonna reveal everything that happened and the reason why the Senate President was treating her the way he was treating her. And as a result of that, Senator Natasha actually accused the Senate President of sexual harassment. And she spoke to the media. She went to Arise News and I think maybe channels and some other media houses. The Senate was like, hell no, that's not how to treat the matter. If you feel that you have a sexual harassment case against the Senate President, what she should have done was to submit a petition to the Senate Ethics Committee. So Natasha hailed their advice and she submitted a petition. For the first time, the chairman of the Ethics Committee came back and said the petition is dead on arrival because she did not follow the due process, that she, Natasha, wasn't supposed the one, allegedly is not supposed to be the one to sign that petition, and the petition is supposed to be co-signed by at least one other person. So they returned the petition, and then Natasha went back and then brought the petition back again and signed it. I think somebody co-signed with her, and then she turned in the petition on the House floor. Now the petition was handed over to the Senate Ethics Committee again, and the Senate Ethics Committee, while working on the petition, because Natasha was still angry with how they were trying to shut her down, the next day when they were having the session, the Senate President walked in, everybody stood up, following procedure, except for Natasha. So Natasha refused to stand up to honor the Senate President, and that led to another issue, which the House leader now accused Natasha of gross misconduct. And because they accused her of gross misconduct, the issue was again sent to the same Senate Ethics Committee. The Senate Ethics Committee came back again and recommended 6 months suspension for Senator Natasha. And if in case you missed that, this was when the 6 month suspension was read in the House floor.
That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpabio for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended, for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to a public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer 2, that
So that was it. That is how the Senate passed the suspension order on Senator Natasha. And when they did that, Senator Natasha made a statement that I want you guys to hear this.
Thank my colleagues.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice.
All right. Now, this is where it all started. Senator Natasha said loudly and clearly that this injustice will not be sustained. And that is when Senate President Akpabio ordeals began. And that wasn't only, all right. All right, you hear them, they say she's not coming back. That is when Senate President Akpabio Odi began, because true to her word, when Natasha walked out of that chamber, Natasha head straight to the press and she started opening up a can of worm. Now, everybody thought she was just gonna put this in Nigeria media, and as usual, they're just gonna kill the matter. It will become a past tense. But this Natasha is a very smart lady, a very smart woman. In fact, everybody has been applauding her stand and how she chose to fight. Natasha took the fight straight to international bodies. She went to the IPU. From the IPU, she went to the BBC. And even right now, as I'm speaking to you right here, Natasha has now been published in the New York Times. And the New York Times have the story under the cover that a Nigerian female senator has been sexually abused. In fact, the way it was captured, it says, let me see if I can show it to you guys. I think I have that somewhere here. The New York Times captioned it this way. I've got to show you. It's crazy. It's crazy. This matter is getting out of hand. In fact, Natasha has shocked everybody. This is how the New York Times captioning. The New York Times says female senator faces down a classic abuse of power in Nigeria. And they went ahead and say Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan said Nigeria's third most powerful politician punished her for not heeding his advances, but that she won't be stopped. And true to her word, it's apparent now that she can't be stopped. If you remember, last week, effort were made to stop her from her homecoming for Salah celebration. And why, according to, or allegedly, according to what Natasha said, why the Senate president was working with her state governor, Governor Ududu, or whatever they call that dude. I'm sorry, I really don't like that dude. He's a stooge. Sorry. So, working with Governor Ududu, they came up with this draconian emergency rules that ban all forms of rally, motorcade. In fact, they ban everything in order to ensure that Natasha cannot come to the state and rallied her people. But again, Natasha is Khaleesi. When I started this series, I said this is Game of Thrones, and Natasha is like the dragon mom. Okay, is the dragon queen who is going to burn everything down. So Natasha is always like 20 steps ahead of all of them. That woman is smart, man. So what Natasha did was like shocking. Why they block all the roads with police, military, whatever they have going on? Natasha actually flew over them with an helicopter. She came to Kogi State in a chopper that dropped her directly in her compound. And massive crowd welcomed her home. And she spoke from there. She narrated her ordeal, what they are planning to do for her. And she alleged that the Senate president is trying to unlife her. Now, this is becoming super, super serious. The Senate president got to do something, or else this might get out of hand. I was reading in the news recently where Senator Natasha said she dared the Senate president to arrest her, no, to sue her. And the Senate president have not sued anybody so far. Now, what we got in the news is that a court order has been made that nobody, Senator Natasha or anybody, none of them should go to the media to speak. So they are trying to gag her in a nutshell. So the headline reads, Court bars Akpabio Natasha orders from speaking to the press on pending suit. And the rest of the story goes like this. It says the Federal High Court in Abuja has barred all parties involved in the suit filed by suspended Senator Natasha Akpabio against the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and 3 others from granting press interviews or making public comments on the case. Justice Binta Iyanko issued the order on Friday following a complaint raised by Akpabio's lawyer, Kehinde Ogunwumi, SAN, who accused the plaintiff of embarking on a media campaign by granting interviews to various television stations on the subject matter of the suit, which is still pending before the court. Ruling on the matter, Justice Iyanko held that no party or their counsel should comment on the case publicly, particularly through press interviews or media streaming. There shall be no press interviews by all parties and their lawyers as regards the subject matter of this case. She ruled, warning that any violation of the order would amount to contempt of court. Akpabio had filed a suit to stop the Senate Committee on Ethics and Public Petitions from instituting disciplinary proceedings against her. On March 4, the judge issued an order restraining the Senate from commencing disciplinary proceedings against Akpabio following an ex parte application filed by counsel to the senator. Now, why this did not expressly stated that Akpabio was the one actually seeking this order, but we all know how things work in Nigeria. I think, in my own estimate, I think the Senate president is the one who is trying to gag Senator Natasha. Now, remember what I said, if you watch my show, I often say that when you have case of sexual harassment, it's very difficult to prove. The only people who know what really went down are the 2 people involved. And one of them will be saying the truth while the other will be lying. The only way we can get to the bottom of this is if there is actually a lawsuit and evidence are provided. Now, so far so good, Akpabio has not sued Senator Natasha, which is one thing that kind of bothers me. As a man, if a woman wrongfully accused you of sexual harassment and you know that you did not commit this crime, I think you should have sued that woman to oblivion, except you know that somehow you are complicit in the whole thing. So right now, I'm not going to say Akpabio is guilty, and I'm not going to say he is innocent. I just want the law to take its course. So let me know what you think in the comment. Do you think by telling the members or the parties involved in the lawsuit to desist from granting media interview, do you agree that Akpabio is the one who is trying to seek protection from Senator Natasha? Or you think that is just the right thing to do? Let me know what you think in the comment. I'm going to come back again as we continue to monitor this case. Don't be a stranger. Give us thumbs up. If you are watching this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome to Trends Reality, your go-to channel for trending social political updates. Subscribe, like, and leave your thoughts in the comments.